So I thought today we'd start off with something. It's actually Spanish, so I might need your help to translate. It's really very beautiful. And it goes like this. What is the most beautiful what is the most beautiful day? Which day is the most beautiful? Today.
I think I want to sit with
Which obstacle is your greatest obstacle? Who knows? What is your greatest obstacle?
sit with you. Yes.
Here it says fear. Fear is your greatest obstacle. The thing most easy to do. To make a mistake. The root of all evil. Your huge ego.
So,
The most beautiful distraction. Work. What does la peor derrota mean? And what does desaliento mean?
Discouragement.
Okay, the worst failure is to feel discouraged. The best teachers? Children. The first necessity? To communicate. What makes us happy? To be useful to everything and everyone. Have you noticed that? When you feel useful, you feel happy. When you have no use, you don't feel happy. You feel nobody loves you. And then I tell people, then go to work and make people serve and become happy. Oh, I don't know if I can do that. You see how interesting people are? They know the medicine and they're too lazy to use the medicine. Oh, I can't do that. And yet they know it makes them happiest to serve, love, give, meditate, purify, realize. Don't want to use the medicine. Interesting. Human beings are quite lazy with ourselves. What is the worst defect? Being bad-tempered. What sentiment that causes, which sentiment is it that causes the most ruin? Anger. The best gift you can receive. Forgiveness. I don't know this one. Lo más imprescindible?
Most important.
The most important. Your home. The most graceful sensation. Peace. Inner peace. The best remedy. Optimism. The most incredible satisfaction that you can receive. And this I don't understand in English. I can't translate. El deber cumplido. El deber cumplido. To accomplish your duty. Thank you. The greatest force in the world. Do you know what the greatest force in the world is?
Love.
That comes later. Faith. When you have faith, nothing is impossible. It's a force. Have you noticed? When you have faith, you have energy. When you have faith, you ride with the waves. But when you don't have faith, when you have doubt, you cannot do your work well. What if this should happen? What if that should happen? But maybe this won't work. And what if I do this behavior? Something else will go wrong, you see? Because there's not enough faith. So faith is the force that moves you to complete your dharma, your duty in life. So faith is a force. We call it Shakti. Shakti. You all know Shakti, right? And I'm sure she will know a Shakti chant because Shakti is the force. My father used to tell my mother all the time when she used to have back pain and she used to complain, my pain, my pains. My father used to tell her, pray God for Shakti. Get up in the morning and say, Shakti there, give me Shakti, give me the force. You know? Give me the force, Shakti, faith, to get through this. And the people you most need in your life, that are necessary for you to grow. Your parents. And the thing most beautiful of all in this world, the feeling, the most beautiful in this world, everybody knows it. Love. The most beautiful feeling in the world, love. It's a Spanish one, but I just loved it because I thought it was so truthful, it was so complete, it was so much the truth. And this is the learning. What is the truth? What is the point of all scriptural knowledges? And the Bhagavad Gita says it itself. I'd like to read this to you. It's really beautiful. Thank you. Thank you. You know, she just loves being in this room. That's why she's chatty, yeah? It's incredible, isn't it? She wants her voice to be heard, yeah? So, listen to this one. This is not me saying it. This is the Gita, which is written like 10,000 years ago. In flowery discourses, the unwise focus on the letter of the scripture and say there is nothing else. Did you hear that? The unwise focus on the letter of the scripture and say there is nothing else. With minds full of desires and heaven as their highest goal, they speak mostly of rites and rituals which they believe will bring pleasure and power. I'm going to read it to you and then explain it because it's really very potent. This, when I read this, I went, wow, this is what I've been feeling all my life, you know? Those deeply attached to pleasures and powers are not able to fix their minds on one-pointedness in meditation and they cannot enjoy samadhi, peace, the super peace. For those already enlightened, the scriptures are as useful as a water reservoir during a flood. You know, so many people learn. What they learn is they study different scriptures and all different traditions. And the problem is they get stuck on the word of the scripture, don't they? Oh, the scripture said it should be like this, so you should be like that. And then you find people in the spiritual world, the most rigid, the least forgiving, the biggest egos. If you don't get the best posture, thank you very much, you can't be a yogi. If you can't do this, you can't be a yogi. If you do this wrong, if you're on drugs, you can't be a yogi. You know, look, I have a great example here in Priya. At 17, I met her. How old are you now? 32. Heavily on drugs, totally lost. She didn't even know who she was anymore. And if I didn't take her in and love her for who she was, and others didn't take her in and love her for who she was, you know, now she's helping other drug addicts. You know how many people her and Satya are bringing into the yoga center through their love, through their understanding, through their forgiveness? They bring everybody. There is no prejudice. They really love. Everyone is welcome. We have business people there. Somebody who works for Credit Suisse next to a drug addict. Isn't that wonderful? Isn't that yoga? Is seeing the soul in everyone. And so many people get caught up on the scriptures and say, oh, you have to do it this way. You have to. Who knows which way we have to do it? Which soul? How did she know at 17? How did I know at 17 that she'd end up? Yesterday I told her, I am just so proud of you. I am so proud of you to fight all those. You know how many times she's gone down to the bottom and up? Do you know how difficult? You all know. You all know. You've all been there when you go right to the bottom. And if nobody gave you that love and nobody gave you that compassion, would you ever be up? So what is yoga but living in humanity, living in love? And that is what we need to learn. Yes, if we can understand the scriptures and you know the sheet you were given out, did you give them all? Serve, love, give? Mark, did you give everybody that we sang last night? Look at the words. This is what we need to learn. Today we're going to cover what we need to learn spiritually. And then tomorrow we're going to, throughout this retreat, we're going to use that knowledge to laugh and to love. So will you all sing this song? Can I have a sheet? I don't have a sheet. Thank you. And then I thought today, I don't know why I brought the Gita, but I think today I would like to cover this chapter too, because it gives you everything to learn that you need to learn. And this song is all you need to learn. And when you learn these things, then you're practicing real yoga. Real yoga. You know, I really don't care what you can do with your bodies or how clever you are or not clever you are. That's irrelevant. What I do care about is that you become totally you, the best you can be. You know, whether it's in cooking or cleaning or running computer shops or cleaning a car, I really don't care. That's irrelevant. But that you do it also beautifully, that you just become the best you can be. Because if we can all excel in excellence, we show people, we become examples of the divine attributes in us. We all have them. But we worry because the world tells you have to make money. So yoga teachers are always worried these days about how much money they're making. Is it about money? Sorry, I'm so rude, am I not? You know, it's not about the money. If you make the money, great. Don't you know you will get it anyway? You do good work, you're going to be looked after. You know, what did Lord Jesus say? Look at the trees. Look at the birds. Aren't they all looked after? Do the birds go, I need food, I need food, I need food? Every day they're fed. And you as human beings, don't you think I will look after you? My master used to say it all the time. If you have complete faith, Nalanie, everything will come to you. You just have to have the faith. I don't know where I got it, but now I live in a beautiful home. And more than I've ever had. And I don't even work for money. How did that happen? I have no idea in the miracle of the divine energy. It just works. If you need it to serve, you'll be given it. You know, I look at my home and I go, how did this happen? How did it multiply by itself? How did I get a home worth over $500,000 for so little? Do you know? Nobody gets those kind of deals. I got it. How does the hall magically build by itself? Only by saying, God, if you want me to serve and you need me to have it, I'll do it. If not, I'm very happy in my little apartment. Really so, you know, you just lock the door, no garden to clean, no driveway to worry about. I'm very happy. I say, no, Nalanie, not your time. Do you know, it talks to you. The divine energy talks to each one of us deep in our hearts, and we can only hear it for ourselves, you know. And my job really is just to remind you, because sometimes in the spiritual world, we become so unkind. I've seen in different, you've seen too, right? They get so egotistical and they don't even know how to welcome somebody in anymore. You know, it's like, oh, you can't do this. And it's that kind of attitude. As if every soul is a stranger, whereas every soul should be a friend. You know, and if people are not meant to be there and they cause trouble, guess what? I've never had to worry. They leave. They just don't like my energy. And people go, oh, they left. It's great. They don't like me. It's wonderful. They'll find a help somewhere else. Do you know? Don't worry. We don't own anything. We don't own anyone. The only thing we can ever control, the only thing, is how we look at what comes to us in life. That's all we can do. We can be miserable and make our world a hell, or we can be happy and make our world a heaven. It's all in here. And yoga is that science that trains the mind, trains us, so that we can work with our fears. The biggest obstacle, your fear. Work with our anger. That causes the most ruin. Work with all of that and become the best we can. So can we all sing this together? Would you like to sing it with me? Will you help me?
Yeah.
Don't have Shanti or Lakshmi here today.
From there.
Yeah. Serve, love, give, purify, meditate, realize. Be good, do good, be kind, and be compassionate. Inquire, who am I? Know yourself and be free. Adapt, adjust, accommodate. Bear insult, bear injury, higher sadhana. Detach, attach, detach, attach. Detach the mind from the world, attach it to the Lord. D-I-N, D-I-N, D-I-N. Do it now, do it now, do it now. Seek, find, enter and rest. This is the way, this is the truth, this is the life divine. Jai! Om Tat Sat, Om Tat Sat, Om Tat Sat, Om. Om Shanti, Om Shanti, Om Shanti, Om. Om Shanti, Om Shanti, Om Shanti, Om. You know, when Master Shivananda has written this prayer, and when I first started on this path, I had this stuck next to my bedside. I had lots of little sayings, Mother Teresa, Paramahansa Yogananda, Swami Satchidananda, all next to my bed on the wall, all pinned up. So first thing when I wake up, I didn't have a choice. First thing I'd look at is all these sayings. And that really trained me, you know, and I keep telling people, just stick things. And my husband used to laugh because I used to get Post-its. And any saying I liked, I'd put it on the bathroom mirror in the morning. I do it at night, right? And stick it on in the kitchen, stick it on everywhere. When I found something that was a weakness in me, you know, when I had fear, I used to write, God is with me, there is nothing to fear. The divine energy is in me, there's nothing to fear. Whatever you want to call God, life force, whatever, it's irrelevant, the names, right? And I used to put it everywhere, and I used to laugh. I used to find Post-its everywhere. And I said, you know, this is my training time. I knew I had to train myself. I knew I hadn't got it right. I knew I didn't have peace. You know when you don't have it. You don't need anybody to tell you. You don't have to pretend, oh, you know, I do some yoga, so I'm really peaceful. Who are you fooling? Yourself. You know? We have to learn. All our life is full of learning. You know, I think once we learn it, we die. I think my husband was lucky, he learned it before me. He left his body very beautifully. Who would have thought? Who would have thought that he'd end up the biggest, best yogi I've known? The way he died in peace, his acceptance. Never would have thought that. I guess his lesson was that. We don't know who gets there first, right? I was doing all the work, he got all the benefits. I love it. And I guess I still have work to do, you know, and this is the way it is. We're all going to go one day, and this is what I'm going to base today's, you know, talk on. What is it that we have to learn? What is it that we have to learn? Be very clear on that. What is it that you all want? What do you want? Tell me loud and clear. What do you want? Anything you want in your life. Just say it out loud. What do you want? Peace. Yeah, because if you have peace, you have it all. If you have peace, you have it all. It means you don't need anything, right? To a person who is content, what does Sri Patanjali say? Laku, we have you here. Say it.
Supreme joy is gained.
Yeah. Because she learned that when we did our Raj Yoga TT, Sri Patanjali says, to one who practices contentment, supreme joy is gained. And she did it like that. So we adopted her way of doing it because it's so passionate, you know, and you remember it. Do you remember it? All of you, can you say it? To one who practices
Supreme joy is gained.
You left out contentment. Should we do it again? And put up your hands, okay, when you do Supreme Joy is gained. So you feel it. You know, when you feel the emotion here, you don't forget. Yeah? Yeah, you don't forget if you feel it in your heart. You will take it home and you'll remember it for the rest of your life. And even if you take one sentence from this retreat home and your life becomes better, good enough. That's all you need. You don't need to study anything else. You really don't. You just need to work on that one. And your life changes. You know, like I said to you last night, when my master told me, your birthright is to be happy, I couldn't. Because everybody, you know, we're all told, when you're young, you're not good enough, you're not this enough, you know, in order to be spiritual, you have to suffer, suffer, suffer. And now I got the answers to all those. So maybe sometime if we have a chance, I can explain that too. But it's not that. When my master gave me permission to be happy, then my work started. How am I going to make myself happy? Because like I said last night, when we are happy, we're happy for this divine energy, because we're all one. So if you're happy and I'm happy, how can the divine energy express it except through an instrument, right? Isn't it true? You need an instrument. If you want to drink water, you can say water, 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 but you need an instrument. Either cup, and if you don't have a cup, you need your hand, but you need an instrument. So the divine energy needs to express itself through an instrument. And we are instruments, because in the whole, you know, in all the species of this world, we're the only ones that are granted the intellect and the permission to choose, and the buddhi, the choice making. We're the only ones. Wow. Why do you think? Ask that question. How lucky are we to have human bodies? In all the scriptures you'll read, in the Eastern scriptures, you know, we are very lucky to have this birth and this body and to enjoy. You know, I said on Wednesday in the last satsang in Gibraltar, you know, my granddaughter, when she was 4 years old, she's now 11, she said to her mom, she said one night, she's putting her to bed and she goes, Mom, I don't want to die. And my daughter looks at her, why is she talking about death at 4, you know? Why are you thinking about death? And why are you worried about it? She goes, because Mom, when I die, I won't have a body to hug you, and I won't be able to eat the delicious food. 4-year-old. And then when my daughter told me, I said, oh my God, she has memories of when she was a soul and she wanted those experiences. She wanted those experiences to hug and to enjoy food. So her memory of wanting that, she must have been very poor in her last life, you know. She must have had a very, you know, I see that by the way she sometimes looks at food. She grabs it. It's almost like it's not enough. So in her last life, she must have had very little. You know, you can tell a lot of things when you observe life and people. And so she's come back this life wanting to enjoy it. But she's got a good family where she can, you know, have it all. So I have to keep telling her, Tara, no need to rush with the food. It's not going away. It's plentiful. It's abundant. And she has this fear. Another fear. She's got a great voice. Now, look how you can determine past lives. And she has, no, I don't want attention. I don't want attention. So she must have been very poor. And she must have been treated like she was not good enough. So even though she's got all the gifts, I mean, they're beautiful, like angels. They sing beautifully. Even you've heard them. Even they have the gift, they're so frightened of, the eldest one is so frightened of her gift. Because she doesn't want to be noticed. No, no, no. Granny, I don't like people clapping at me. I said, well, then you have to learn that people have to clap at you. This is why you've come to this life. So you can see that in her last life, she's had no food, not a lot of love, and she's obviously has good karma to come back to a family that can give her all this. But she has this thing of never feeling good enough, so she works very hard. She overstretches herself. She's top in class in school to the point of being stressed out. And I have to tell her it's not important. You're already good enough, you know? And she didn't learn it from this life, so where did she come from? Do you see? And my Katie here was the same as a child. So you can see, and Katie's actually related to my granddaughter because her uncle's married to my daughter. And she had the same traits when she was young. And you see, when they grow up with spirituality, they lose those low esteem traits and they develop the best in them when they have the knowledge. When she was young, she was frustrated, always angry with her mom. Very similar to my granddaughter. And same family. So you see, there's also group karma. You come back with people to learn what you hadn't learned last time. So when she sees Shivana or Katie here, growing like this will be a great influence on her. You know, we were talking about it yesterday. That's why when you watch life and you look at life, it's the best scripture. My master said it's your best scripture. And when you study the knowledge and then you really just observe, so many answers come to you. Why? Because the yogis tell us that truth, knowledge, bliss is what we are. The self is. The higher self is. That is what we are. That's what it tells us, right? So, when we are in it, when we're in that peace, whatever information we need will be given to us. I was speaking to Nina Arti this morning, and she's working with somebody with some problems, physical problems, and who didn't have an arm, and she was telling me what she was doing with this person. So I asked her, I said, who taught you how to do all that? And she goes, you know, Nalanie, I really don't know. I just know what to do and what to tell them when my heart's totally in it. You all know that when you're in service, the music, the sound. Where does it come from? Where does the voice come from? It's a force. You go, how do I do it? I said, now you understand me. When people say thank you to me, I didn't do a thing. I don't know how the voice comes up when I'm meant to talk, you know? And we all have this ability when we focus on that peace. Huh? So what do you have to do to get that peace? By the practice of
Contentment.
what happens?
Supreme joy is gained.
Not enthusiastic. We'll do it one more time. By the practice of contentment.
Supreme joy is gained.
Yeah, better. Passion. The passion for your spirit. The passion for the gift of being alive. What did the Spanish thing say? The most beautiful day today. Tomorrow we might all be dead. We don't know. Isn't it true? We really don't know. On our way here or to the airport, what happened, Mel? Flat tire, total flat tire. I mean, it was just not even flat. Burst. We were just so incredibly saved. You know, she just, moved to the side on a motorway. For some reason, the car in front of us was driving very quickly and she was driving very slowly. And they were thinking, why can't she go a bit faster, right? And she drove slow. So we saved nothing, no problem. You know, we didn't miss our flight. They got to the airport exactly like, you know, you watch a movie, 2:00. They said they'd close the check-in counter. And then Maxine and Shanti ran up. Please wait. They're nearly here. They had a flat tire. They're nearly here. And they come in, like you watch a movie. 10, 9, 8. Yes! They got them checked in and they walked. They said they're proof. They're really here. I thought it was so exciting. You know? And the wonderful thing was, for me to have watched 5 people traveling with me learn the truth, that nothing fazed them. Lord, she wasn't angry, she wasn't upset. Her only concern was, I'll go with the car, we'll call Mac Priya to pick you up. The most important thing is you should get to the airport. Listen, I'd like to wait with you. No, you don't. We'll sort it out. And everything was like clockwork. It was like magic. In 1 hour, they went to the garage. The grua, how do you say grua? The tow truck came. And we're middle of nowhere. Tow truck came. We waited for them to go all the way Malaga back to pick us up. Everything was done within an hour. It was quite miraculous. You know, when you look at it, we said, time stop. Because when you have faith and there's no anger and there's no stress and there's no worry and there's no fear, the flow just works. And it was so wonderful to work with people But no fear, no agitation, no worry. And you know what it cost her? €8 only to get the tire fixed. When she told me, I said, what? Is that all? The gods really love us, yeah? They really love us. So, life is so incredible. And you see this all the time and you realize why you need to practice contentment. Because it keeps the mind quiet. And if we missed it, we missed it. And I told her, look, if we miss our flight, no problem, because the program starts tomorrow. So we can take the next flight late tonight, even if we have to go to London, and there's always a solution. No big deal. See, normally people would worry, it'll cost me more money, it will do this, how can I do this, I'll have to buy a new ticket, right? And then that gets in the way. Then they will miss the plane, and they'll have to face all those horrible things. But when you're peaceful, the gods work with you, nature, because energy is truth, knowledge, bliss. That's love, is that energy. When you work in that energy field, then it works for you. It's there to give us anything we want. That's why all the masters say, think abundance and you shall be abundant. Think poor and you will be poor. You have to think abundance in everything in life. Everything. Don't fear the light. Is what I'm trying to teach my granddaughter. Fearing herself, fearing her. I don't want the attention, Gran. I don't want the attention. You have to have it. Don't fear it. Don't fear who you are born to be. You wouldn't be given the gift of a voice if you weren't meant to sing. Slowly she's understanding. Slowly. It takes time. So you have to have a lot of patience. But if you can just start with the practice of contentment, everything else will happen by itself. Okay? Everything will work for you. Otherwise, everything will not work for you because you are working with the energy of discontentment. Are you okay?
It's just
beetle or something.
I should have brought my bug catcher.
Put it to the edge.
Yeah, I'll go up. Have you seen a bug catcher? Amazon has it. Buy
We like them.
it. Yeah, you use it too?
love
Oh, they're
them.
great. They're great. It's amazing. What it does is, excuse me, I just have to blow my nose a little. It's a long tube, see-through tube, and it has your battery operated. It's like a miniature vacuum. And yeah, it's long enough so the bug goes in, and you turn it on, you suck in the bug, you put a cap on it, and then you save it, and then you take it to your garden or outside and you let it
Next
go
door
free.
neighbour's garden.
She goes next. No, I haven't done that. Put it outside my driveway.
I take mine across the road.
There'll always be another one.
Yeah.
There'll always be another one.
So every day there's loads. When you have a garden, it's full of them, right? So we are full of them. So talking about bug catchers, one of the most useful devices I found, especially traveling in India, when we were in Nepal, right, Mark? Were you there that trip for the second trip when we were full of bugs? No, you came when we went when it was really cold.
Yeah.
Well, we went the next year when it was really hot. And the whole room in the evening, flying bugs, cockroaches, And I thought, this is my idea of hell. How can I make it into a heaven? At 44 degrees, how do you make it a heaven? I don't know what happened, but they didn't really bother us. And after a while, I said, okay, God, you give me all this. I really don't like bugs, but I couldn't catch enough because the battery would run out. Too many in the room. And I put a sheet over myself. Thank God I always feel cold because my poor friend next to me, she couldn't stand the heat. So the poor girl was like, without the blanket and all night buzzing away at her. You learn from life, isn't it nice? You know why you get things that, why don't I like the cold so much? Oh, great, that's good, It's funny, isn't it? You learn about yourself and you think everything is a gift. You change it. What you feel is not a gift to you, look upon it as a gift. This is the knowledge. This is the learning that will make you love and laugh. Feel sorry for yourself. Dislike it. Criticize yourself. And then you will not be happy. You will not be content. What can you do? This is what you've been given. This is what you've been given. Be happy. Be happy. So here it says, how many people we meet And Shiva will tell you this. And Priya, who are the yoga teachers here? And Sama will tell you this. Priya, right? And there's one more yoga teacher we met last night. Yeah. Can I have your name again? Sophie. Priya, Sama, Shiva, many yoga teachers here will tell you that, many teachers will say you have to get into this posture, use blocks, use this, use that, and you force the body, right? But Hatha Yoga is that wonderful science. When you've got good teachers, they allow you to flow in the posture. They teach you alignment. They teach you relaxation. They'll tell you that every body is different. We all have different frames. For example, I have a very short midriff. So if I do the plow pose, many times I'll get cramps in my rib bones because they're very close together. But somebody else can do it easily because of different formation. So, when you follow the letter, okay, do the power pose, and then you're forced to do it, and then you can't do it, you feel, I'm not good enough, something's wrong with me. And I found it's only a mechanical problem. My body was designed like this. And then you get an expert to help you flow and release that fixture, even mechanically, and allow you to flow to get as low as you can. And that's a good teacher. And the only reason is when you have blockages in small anatomy or whatever, or big anatomy, sometimes toxins stay in those places. So they teach you to flow. There's no rigidity. But where there's rigidity, your uncle, Ian, was telling me, I think a long time ago, a few years back, that the most injuries he gets today is from doing yoga. Can you believe it? In London, he's a great, one of the top orthopedic surgeons. The most injuries. It shouldn't be. It shouldn't be. It should be done with love. Everybody is different, with gentleness, with comfort, with grace. It's the idea of Hatha Yoga is to make us supple so we can sit long and quiet, so we can observe our mind. That is the idea of Hatha Yoga. It is very vital for the body to learn to be able to move, so that all the toxins are released. Also, Hatha Yoga is designed to actually open your Kundalini energy and work on your endocrine system, pituitary and pineal glands. Pineal related to the psychic centers of your brain, and pituitary master gland that sends all the hormones down. So it learns to balance all that, because we are machine. Our body is a machinery which is perfectly designed. And guess what? The soul resides in this machine. Isn't that incredible? Because you are soul. What happens? Who were you before you came to this body? Anyone. Who were you? Do you know? Who are you going to be when you leave this body? Or what? You're going to be it. The name is only in here, right? You'll be it. It left the body. The body's still here. It's not there anymore. And that's when the oneness comes in, We're so much one. If only we could see this when we're alive. And we live so much better. We don't take things so seriously. Oh, you hurt me. Oh, she said that to me. How dare you say that to me? Instead, no big deal. It's only a play. It's only life. No big deal. Oh, she ignored me. Do you know how rude? Barren self, barren dream, highest sadhana. Yeah, it's rude. It's absolutely rude. So what? They're rude so I can learn to be strong. Thank you, teacher. That's how you do it. Again and again and again and again. They're rude so I can be strong. Oh my God, please don't be more rude, because you will develop karma. I don't want you to get hurt anymore. So what happens psychologically inside of you? You start praying for the person who's hurt you the most. And you go, sometimes I tell myself, mad. I pray for the people who hurt me the most. And but that's the compassion you learn, because they're one with you. And deep inside, when you know that they've been there, they've sacrificed They've sacrificed to take that position so you can grow. So really, you don't want any harm to come to them. And that's when you grow in compassion, and that's when you grow in love, and that's when you grow in understanding. That's when you know, when you really feel in your heart somebody who's hurt you so much, and in your heart, outside you may say, this is a wrong behavior, because it is a wrong behavior. But inside, you love and pray for them. You don't want to tell them bad behavior is right, would you? Because you'd only encourage them to repeat the bad behavior. So you have to be in this world and not of this world. Isn't that what Lord Jesus said? When you see, anybody has a glass, clear glass for drinking? Bottle. Okay, can I borrow your bottle? Just imagine this bottle. This bottle has nothing in it. This bottle, if all the water is drunk, it'll have nothing in it. What would you say is in the bottle? Air. Anybody else? Once it's finished, all the water, what would you say? You'd say it's empty, correct. It is empty, true. But it's also full of air. Both true, correct?
Yep.
We say, I'm not this body, I'm not this mind, immortal self I am, right? True. But also, I am this body. Also true. Both true. Sometimes in your life, many times you have to be very well grounded. You are living on this earth. Don't get airy-fairy like I do. You can get lost. And other times, you have to be very grounded. I do that too. When I feel I'm going off in another dimension, I pull myself down and I watch something like a DVD and get on earth again. I watch the news. I know most people don't like to because it's so negative, but I love to because it makes me pray. I'm in this world. I have to be of this world. Otherwise, how can I help this world if I don't understand it? If I reject the world, how can you love it? Oh, I can't bear this world's full of problems. I can't bear it. Let me run away. How can I serve, love, give if I'm doing that? I have to be in it. Yes, it's painful. Yes, you're putting yourself out there to be insulted, to be laughed at. Say, ugh, can't bear this one. She talks too much about God or spirituality. Doesn't matter. But it doesn't make me whole if I withdraw. What good am I to anyone if I withdraw? What is my purpose on earth if it's not to pass the energy? What is our purpose on earth if it is not to pass this energy? What is our purpose otherwise? What is her purpose if she can't sing and elevate us? She gets well with it. Poor girl has suffered from a sickness the last 2 years. She's getting better every time I see her. And what do the gods send her? A wonderful young man to promote and bring her up. Look at that. Thank you for your bottle of water. So are you understanding you're both? You are spirit and you are human. What we've forgotten is that we are both. And sometimes we have to work from a spiritual realm. And sometimes we have to act from a very human realm. Sometimes we have to appear not so nice. And sometimes we have to be super compassionate. Sri Patanjali tells us, by the practice of the 8 limbs of yoga, the impurities dwindle away. They dwindle away. Look at that. And there dawns the light of wisdom. There dawns the light of wisdom. The light of wisdom is within all of us. When impurities go away from the mind, what do you see? What is left? The light of wisdom. There dawns the light of wisdom, leading to discriminative discernment. When the light of wisdom comes, you know when to be of the spirit and when to be off the earth, so that people are comfortable around you. And so you don't lie to the truth. You don't lie to that love. And you have the compassion to know that each of us are on the same journey. We're on the same journey. Everybody's at a different place. Not everybody can be going to Madrid at the same time. There would be chaos. Can you imagine the whole world now with the Olympics, everybody descending on London, right? Many people have said, I'm leaving London. So many people have told me that it's too chaotic this year, a Jubilee Olympics. Do you see? It's like, too much happening, yeah? So that's why the energies that created us are so wise, keeps the world moving. Some of us will go to university and go to a MA degree and then a PhD. And in this life, if we don't make it, don't worry. Don't worry. I'll read that to you as well. Lord Krishna tells Arjuna, don't worry. He goes, because Arjuna asks him, Lord Krishna is divine energy in us, the higher self, and Arjuna is the student, the disciple. Life is so hard for Arjuna because he has to face a battle with his own family. And he doesn't want to, and Lord Krishna is teaching him these yogic values. And then he goes, Lord Krishna, what happens if I should die? I'm practicing all this stuff that you're telling me to, and then I die. I have neither achieved happiness really or achieved this in this lifetime. And I've renounced, I'm doing all these things that I don't want to do, like trying to fight with love and all these things. So I have I've lost both worlds. What happens to me? And then Lord Krishna goes, oh, don't worry. Nothing that you do in goodness will ever be lost. You will drop this body, but don't worry, you'll get another body. And if you do that which is of the highest good, you can be sure you will either be born to spiritual, prosperous parents, which will make sure that you have the education to continue the journey, or you may be just born to very highly acclaimed yogis to continue your work in life. So don't worry. Just do the work. Nothing you do is ever lost. So if you don't make it this lifetime, wow, you've planted great seeds for the next one. But look at you all. Why are you sitting in this room? I think you've made it. Do you understand? You cannot sit for higher knowledge if you weren't ready. If it's not by your own deeds and your own goodness that you want to get better and hear more and get stronger. You look at the common sense of it. It just doesn't happen. Many people cannot handle this kind of knowledge. Oh, it's too much. It's too much work. It's too much this. And that's okay. It's really okay. It's not their time. But you know what? They'll have their time when they're ready. Everybody does. Everything will evolve. Don't worry about it. Don't have ownership. It's not our responsibility. Our responsibility, all of us, is just to share as much as we can in goodness and kindness and be examples of this light. We need to be the examples. That's all we need to do. If we don't walk our talk, people don't respect us. Haven't you noticed when you give people advice and they don't take it? You know why they don't take it? Because you don't apply it. Because you say, oh, I told my friend not to do this and not to do that, and she doesn't listen to me. And I always ask them, well, I don't think you listen to you, so why should she listen to you? Or why should he listen to you? You tell a partner not to shout, and all you're doing is shouting. You tell your children not to speak back, and all you're doing is telling them, do this, do that, do this, do that. You're screaming at them, and then you're telling them, don't shout back at me. You see what's happening? Learn to be the example first. and then they'll follow. They'll follow. Naturally, they will follow. It's the way it is. So we have to be the examples of these great spiritual truths. And this is the learning part. Like I said, Sri Patanjali said, not mine, Sri Patanjali so many years ago, thousands and thousands and thousands, Bhagavad Gita, thousands, so many things thousands of years ago. Same things we have to learn. Not my knowledge. It's everybody's knowledge. It belongs to all of us. There should be no patent on any of this stuff. It's ours. And what are the 8 limbs of yoga? First 2. Yama, Niyama. Any of you know the 8 limbs well in this room? Any of you not know it well, I should say? Everybody knows. Oh, wonderful. We'll just then very briefly go through them. Yama, Niyama, Asana, Pranayama, Pratyahara, Dharana, Dhyana, and Samadhi. Wow, you guys really know well. Good, good. 8 limbs. Don't even bother with the other limbs if you don't have the first 2. Most people leave the first 2 and go on to the rest. Get your grounding. The first 2, that's why they're the first 2. They're the most important. Yama, Niyama. Let's say Yama. We say Sanskrit and English, yeah? Ahimsa, which means Satya, Asteya, non-stealing, non-greed, Brahmacharya,
Continence.
okay, Niyama, Socha, which means
Purity.
contentment. We did it already. You missed it. No, she did it. She really did it. Yeah. They all know it together now. You want a replay? We do it for you. To one who practice
Contentment.
Supreme joy is gained.
ask and you shall receive. Why not? It's a good thing to ask for. So then where were we? Socha, Samtocha, tapas. What is tapas?
Accepting pain and not causing it.
Accepting pain, but no revenge, in other words. Don't revenge it. It has its own revenge. Don't meddle. You know, did you ever see Star Trek? Yeah? Any Star Trekkies here? Yeah, I was. My husband used to love it, so I really thank him for it. I used to watch every episode with him. I learned a lot. I didn't realize. Because many of them... Before yoga, I was, I don't want to watch TV, And after yoga, I did the opposite. You know, I can learn. If I watch the right things, I can learn. And he was so happy when I would say, you know, I'm going to sit down with you and watch Star Trek. Oh, darling, you know, you go where no man has ever been. I go, wow, this is really yogic, yeah? And I don't know what else it said. And I go, oh my God. And for years I've been fighting with him, too much television. Here's all yogic principles, you know? Oh my God, and I hadn't even noticed. And I used to love it. We used to cuddle and watch it, and it was such a nice. It's such a nice memory. I'm so glad I learned yoga to enjoy those things with him, because the real meaning of yoga through a wonderful master. Because I was deluded. I was thinking, you watch TV, you're bad. You drink too much of this, you're bad. You're bad. You're bad. You're bad. So much judgment. No wonder I was so sick. I was so sick, you know. 32 tablets a day with all this anger and this judgment. I wasn't born to think like that. None of us are born to think that way. It just breaks us. So it was a really good thing to learn. And what did they always say? When you go to the other planets, right? You help them, but you don't interfere with their growth. Did you know that that was one of the lessons that they were teaching continuously? They were allowed to go and help them, but the moment they interfered, it would change the whole dynamics of that planet. So they couldn't interfere. They could go and serve. And when the service was not working, they had to leave that planet. Very,
Politicians should watch the documentary.
yes, they should. You're absolutely right. So pray for that. You know, yesterday we prayed last night for the politicians. Do it every night. Flood them with light, because much of the world is flooding them with anger. So they're developing more anger and more greed. So we need to flood them with light and see them changing with light. That's what we need to do, you know. And the more of us that do it, then they can't. If the ones who are not going to change, they can't bear the light, so they will leave, and the ones with light will go in. That's how it will work. Only by love can we heal things. Only by water can you put out a fire. So we have to give them that medicine. That's why I say I love to watch the news, because I see the horrific things that are going on, and I pray, and I always see all the wonderful things that are going on. Because isn't it true, there are more wonderful things happening in this world than horrific things. There is so much more. You know, when people tell me the world is really bad, I say, you've been watching too much of the news. You can't deal with that. Go and do some work with good people, and you can deal with that now. Work with good people, and then have your faith restored that there are such good people in the world. You know, when we took our trip to India, wasn't it? How many wonderful people did we meet? How incredible human beings. You think we're good? We do nothing. We do nothing. And that's the humility I felt when I was there. I do nothing. I really do nothing. There are some people who are saving 2,000, 3,000 souls a day, you know? Looking after them, feeding the entire life of dedication and love. Wow! It really makes you feel so humbled in their presence, you know? Really makes you feel so humbled to meet such great souls. There's so many great people. And the more we focus on that and become that humbly, but with a confidence of doing our best, with a great humility of being instruments and students of this great knowledge. Just a humility and gratitude. Gratitude. Thank you for giving me this knowledge, Lord, or Gurudev, or whoever you are. Doesn't matter. It's all the same. Thank you for making me see the light in myself. Thank you for making me able to have these tools of yama and niyama to practice in my life when I go wrong, when I can't make a decision, when I don't know right from wrong, when I'm so confused I don't know where I'm going. Thank you for giving me these tools. Teach me how to use them well and truthfully. Let me use them. And it's hard because the whole world will tell you that's not the way you're going to get what you want. But is what you want material? You all said so clearly, peace. That's subtle. That's within you. Nobody can give you that. Nobody. Only you. Only you. Your direct line with God. You know, some people joke with me and said, you have a direct line with God. And I said, so do you. You only haven't learned to dial its number yet. So learn to dial the number. We all do. There's not one of us. The same sun shines for everybody. The same rain falls on everybody. It doesn't discriminate. I'm not going to rain on you and not on you. I'm going to shine on you and not on you. It doesn't discriminate at all. This energy does not discriminate. Human beings discriminate. It just loves us, you know? And we're the rigid ones. And sometimes you need to be a little rigid when a lesson has to be learned. You know, when you want to teach children, you tell them do what you like, they're not going to learn awareness and manners. And when they grow up, they become selfish. And will they be happy? Look at selfish children. Are they happy? Always throwing tantrums. Never happy. Isn't it true? Look at them. Never throwing tantrums. Always happy. Good mother. Obvious. Good mother. And when you're a good mother, your children shine. Your daughter's going to be a teacher one day. She has a lot to teach and say. You know that, don't you? She loves people. Yeah, she loves people. She's very wise. She loves energy. Anyway, so you know, some will transmit peace, some will transmit teaching, each one has a different role that they will transmit. And each one is necessary. Because one without the other doesn't work. I love the Gita as well. I was saying this on Wednesday, right? The Gita describes us all as being pearls like on a pearl necklace, all strung on one string, but each pearl different. Isn't that beautiful? And when the whole is not together, it won't become a necklace and you can't wear it to be beautiful. And I think of the earth like that, that we are all pearls of this earth. And when we're strung in harmony, even in little circles of harmony, we become a necklace. And people can wear us for their peace. Great, enjoy the peace. And that's how I see what we're here for in these troubled times on earth. That's why so many people are being awakened. And when we don't follow that awakening, guess what? You get one problem after another. That's how you know you're not following your Dharma. Huh? You know. Because if you don't follow it, you get the same kind of problems coming to you again and again and again and again and again. You keep repeating the same mistakes until you get so frustrated. Okay, God, I'm going to listen. I'm going to do this. I want to be good, because you suffer so much that there comes a point of surrender. And all the universe is working for you to go get to that point of surrender so you can become humble and say, okay, you know what? I think I've got the controls. I really don't. My destiny is laid out. Am I following it or am I not? Am I following my highest destiny? Am I not? And that is the question you will have in your soul, and it will cry out. And that's the learning. Learn to listen to the cries of your soul. It will tell you exactly what you have to do. It's your resistance. Oh, Nina, you came up with that word today. Your resistance to be who you are, to show your light that stops you. Nothing more. Nothing more. And you all know it. But scary to go out there, right? Go out there. Face your fears and do it anyway. Susan Jeffers. I didn't say it, she did. Mine is God is with me, there's nothing to fear. When I was really frightened in the early days, now I just know that if I fear, I'll be looked after. I just know it with all my heart and soul. That's the transition. That's the learning from a place of fear to a place of trust. From a place of anger to a place of compassion. That's the learning. That's what we need to learn. That's what all the scriptures teach us. But we always want somebody else to give us a quick fix, or something to give us a quick fix. And you can have all the fixes in the world. Am I right, Priya? It's not going to give you the peace. You can try 10 years, 12 years, 13 years. How many years have you gone through it? You get high highs, and then the lows are just not worth it. Just not worth it. What wonderful highs you can get listening from beautiful music, or going to a lovely class, or going to or walking in the woods with people you love, or just sitting in the sun and just looking out to the sea and the beach. Wow, those are great, wonderful. The best feeling, best sensation you can feel, peace. Just having nothing to do but stare out. Just sitting there and say, I deserve to just do nothing and stare out. I hope you do this after lunch. It's a beautiful day. And just stare. Stare at the beautiful trees and just be. Take a deep breath. And if you need to tell people to just sit with you and not talk, do that. I think that's lovely when I used to love to walk with my husband when he was alive, and sometimes with friends now. And I say, we won't talk. We'll just walk. It's so nice. We just walk. We just walk with God. We start with the mantra in our heads, and then after half an hour we're back home, and where did it go? Just looking at the trees and the animals and the street, and being aware there's dirty paper, and you pick it up and you put it in the bin. You're just aware. And I don't know why when you do something that simple and you go home, you feel so strong and you feel so well. I don't know why, but I just know it happens. There was like nothing to do. It was just being, yeah? Just to be in the moment, just to have that lazy time in the mind. And that's not lazy time. That's your time, one-to-one, with nature, and you learn to feel the energy of the person that is with you as well. It just transmits because there are no words to disturb misunderstandings. Because they may say something and you think they're meaning something else. But when you have quiet time together to walk together, there's no misinterpretation. It's just body language, one seeping into the other, one merging into the other. You just understand. And it becomes a very lovely place. Very lovely place to be with. So when you have problems with partners or friends, ask to walk with them in silence. And try not to judge and say it's your fault, because that's what we all tend to do. But just breathe. And when your fault is, if you hadn't done this, this wouldn't have happened. Try to shut that out. Really, that is what Sri Patanjali means. You've analyzed it enough. Don't spend more time. You'll just get the same answers. You don't spend 20 years analyzing the same problem. It's not going to go away if you do that. You know it. Now just let it go. Let it go and say, what can I learn from this anger? What can I learn from this fear? What can I learn from this lack of trust? The only medicine I can apply is understanding, compassion, and love. Apply that medicine. Take a deep breath. Accept the situation and walk. And just walk. And fill your heart with love and forgiveness. It's going to be hard. You'll want to resist. But keep going, and one day it will become so natural to just forgive. It will become so natural. Just keep going with that silence. Keep going with that. Trust yourself. Trust yourself. Learn to do those things. That's what you need to learn. That's what all this teaching is about, to apply it in your very own life. Every single minute. Every single minute. By understanding you are with that spirit, and the only way you can understand that is to know really, 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 really who you really are.